I know I don't have to do it anymore, but yet I persist. I apologize for the big delay between these strips. First of all, it was very hard to come up with a concept for this one because I'll be straight out honest. Live 79 there's not a lot of grist for the mill. There's not a lot of stuff to grasp onto, and there was a ton of tropes I could have fallen back on, but a friend of mine who's a graphic designer once told me their best piece of advice was your first idea, throw it out and come back. So I have to thank right off the top Noise Extra. If you don't listen to that podcast, you totally should. One of the inside jokes in this comes directly from them. Would not have known about Masana and his love for Space Ray Troll if not for listening to them. So definitely check them out. Buy stuff from Gray on Verdant Weapons, contact mics, shakers, all your needs. And then I had a myriad of technical problems, which you will hear about, and I don't want to kvetch in the introduction for this. So I think the best thing to say is thank you all for putting up with me. Sorry about the delay, and we will do better. Speaking of which, trying out, getting the light a little bit brighter on that side, see if that helps out with the introduction. And yeah, bearer of limited intelligence. Let's get to it. Love you. Bye. It has been a minute. I apologize for that. And yeah, I know I talked about this in the beginning. This one presented challenges. Who would have thunk it? But I think this just goes to show that I am much too stubborn to give up on this. And right here, we have to thank Noise Extra for that gag there, because that's where I first heard that about Masana. So, and my struggles to find what I was actually going to use, in this, they pulled through for me. So you should definitely be listening to Noise Extra. Go to Verdant Weapons, order contact microphones, bone shakers, everything that Gray has. They're perfect. And you'll notice I like putting the materials that I use across the bottom in case anybody ever has a question. There was a lot of struggles this time trying to get that lettering correct, because for some reason Shotcut decided it wasn't going to include spaces and just ran all the words together. So there has been a lot of troubleshooting trying to figure out what's going on there. I have a rough idea as to what may be going on, but yeah, sorry about that. So as we hit the specific sections, I will let you know. I know it's not as ideal, but I've rendered those painting sections so many times now that poor Latremont, my little laptop, he's just not having it. He's like, I'm done. I'm tapping out, boss. Sorry. And the ever beautiful comic Zenith. I think that's just the workhorse that everybody uses for good reason. And my beloved Da Vinci lettering brush. I've been trying to make the characters more expressive. They've been too stiff up until now. And so I did a lot of gesture drawing as the basis for them to get some fluidity into their stances and poses, and I tried to carry that over with the brushwork this week. So I tried to go more expressive with the brushwork, and I like the results. I really like the result. But yeah, it is everything that I do. It's not that well done, but slowly but surely we're making progress on it, so we're getting there. I like the owl a lot in the last panel. An interesting thing, because it's been 2 weeks since the last strip? Humidity in New York City has absolutely skyrocketed. And being the bearer of limited intelligence that I am, I did not take that change in humidity into account. with the drying time of the acrylic paint. The acrylic ink. I'm very used to hitting stuff with the acrylic ink, even with the brush where you have heavier sections of ink, and then coming back within 10 to 15 minutes and it's completely dry. You can rest your hand on it, no problem. Obviously you can see above the owl here, that wasn't the case with the increased humidity, so this actually came into play with the watercolor stage as well. So like I said, bear of limited intelligence, I'm figuring this out. So with increased humidity, gotta allow some extra drying time, which seems absolutely obvious in retrospect, but yeah, I'm stupid, what can you say? And once again, I know I've talked about this before, but to get the random elements into the sketching of foliage and trees and stuff like that, you can see I'm trying to relax back on the nib holder and kind of let it find its own direction. When I do the pencil sketches, one of these days I'll have to figure out how to make the contrast on the pencil sketches high enough that I can tape them for you guys. I just put in the roughest ideas of what I want in that space, and then try to allow a chance to operate with that relaxed grip on the nib holder. I really like the effect. I'm gonna play around with it even more because I think there's something promising down the road on that. And I am really happy with the poses of the owl and the otter in that opening panel. Let's get that old school weekly comic, daily comic strip look that I kind of like and going for. And I apologize for... I know there's people out there that are going to be like, Live 79 is my favorite album ever, and they have great nostalgic feelings for it, and I understand that. I like albums that other people don't like. I like to say my record collection is vast enough, anyone can find something to look down upon, so yeah, I get that. I understand emotional connection, just it's not a very inspiring album. And this is the one where I really love how the owl came out. I love his pose, that kind of fluffed up, indignant. The Sybil will do that, not as an owl, but as a pigeon would, he'll do that fluffed up type thing, which always cracks me up, so I was happy to capture that. And this is where the titling kind of went wonky, and eventually I just said, yeah, we're leaving it out. So that is Daniel Smith, cerulean blue for the sky parts in there. And going back to the old trick of wet and wet for the sky parts, just to give it that little cast of it, not really deliberate. And Winsor & Newton's sap green for the lighter parts of the foliage. And that's actually a Winsor & Newton, I think they call it a travel box, and that is a great bargain for, not only for travel, but it's just a great bargain for the paints that you get within it. Winsor & Newton's kind of like Daniel Smith, it's hard to go wrong with them. I'm sure that people get snobby about it, but let them do. And here I'm mixing in some Viridian hue into that, and I like how it gives it almost a jewel-like quality to it. And with the increased humidity that's going on in New York, because we're running like, I think an average is 76%, sometimes 83%, it's insane. Watercolors always go down heavier than they're gonna dry, but with the increased humidity, it's really in there. Like, when I was painting the characters, I was ready to throw in the towel because I was like, I ruined everything. But, let it dry overnight, everything kind of mutes down a little bit, you're good to go. And that right there for the forest floor is Renaissance Cobalt Green Pale. And I've talked about Renaissance paint before. Absolutely gorgeous paint. I believe it's from Poland. A lot of it is has a binder of honey in it. So if you do have a high humidity situation, you do have to worry sometimes about the paint and the binder separating in the tube, but just get your bamboo skewer and kind of elude action with pushing it in and out to mix them back together again. Arts and crafts gets pornographic there. And right here is Renaissance, burnt sienna, and later on I'll mix it in with Renaissance. Winsor and Newton. My apologies there. Winsor and Newton, burnt sienna with burnt umber for the darker portions of it. And for the otter's head, I put down a layer of Daniel Smith's Nutritent. Hey, we're back to, this is when I figured out the titles. So we're back to it. I don't have to sit here and recite them like an idiot. You can just read them off the screen. But yeah, Nutritent. Genius invention. I love that. And you can see here where it looks too dark, and that's the humidity playing around with it. Like I almost panicked at that, not gonna lie there. But then, like I said, let it dry overnight, things kind of pull back, which is good. And as usual, as I've said, sped up watercoloring. I love being able to see, like, you can actually see the paint kind of drying and blending together and stuff in sections, which is always genius. And I think with that, we're coming to an end. Sorry for the delay. There was a lot of problems with this one, but got there and did it. So, love y'all, and God bless. Take care out there. I'll talk to you later. Bye.